Hello guys. Welcome to our channel. Today, we are going to do a recap of the movie called Snowpiercer, which came out in 2013. The movie follows the plot of a man named Curtis. In a world where an effort to stop global warming caused an ice age. All population has died off and only the remaining few live on a train named Snowpiercer. There is segregation on the train with poor people treated badly and exploited. Curtis is their leader and they revolt against the rich. Will they be able to gain their rights? Will the condition on Earth will ever improve to sustain life again? Will their effort prove fruitful or will it cause further complications? To know it in detail, watch the video till the end. But before we begin, beware of spoilers, watch out and take care. And I hope you enjoy the video. In 2014, authorities in 79 countries decided collectively to combat global warming with the coolant CW7. The attempt to counteract global warming through climate engineering backfires catastrophically, unintentionally causing an ice age that extinguishes all life except the inhabitants of the Snowpiercer, a massive train powered by a perpetual motion engine that travels a circumnavigational track created by the transportation magnate Wilford. In 2031, 18 years after an attempt to stop global warming via stratospheric aerosol injection catastrophically backfires and makes a new ice age, the remnants of humanity have taken to a self-sustaining circumnavigational train, the Snowpiercer. The train takes a full year to complete its one round the track. The train is divided into sections. Passengers on the train are segregated, with the elite in the extravagant front cars and the poor crammed into squalid tail compartments overseen by armed guards. We see some people who are freeloaders, meaning they have boarded the train without the tickets, they are dressed in very bad clothes, and they are treated very poorly. Despite the train having all the luxuries, supplies, and resources, they are not fed well. They get to eat some protein bars, and it is all that they get to eat. And they are always overseen by armed guards, while in the front of the train elites enjoy a life of luxury. One day some guards come to the freeloaders and they inquire about a violinist and ask that is there anyone who can play violin and can entertain the people of economy class people. An old man raises his hand and says that he can play the violin, but he does not want to leave without his wife. His wife is holding tight to his arm, the guards assault her and break her arm. And they forcefully take the old man with them. The scene then shifts to Curtis Everett. Curtis, along with his friend, Edgar, is looking for something in protein bars. A woman says to him, "What you are looking for is in my daughter's protein bar." In the protein bar is a capsule. This capsule contains a hidden message that is sent by someone from the front of the train. The freeloaders are fed up with the conditions that they are living in, and Curtis is their leader, and Edgar is his second in command. And they were leading the poor people for a few years now and making efforts for their rights, but they were not getting any success. Curtis goes to an old man, he discusses the situation with him, he gives the message to the old man. The old man reads the message and says that the letter discusses a man who designed the interior of the train and is imprisoned on the train. Curtis does not understand what the old man is saying. At night, guards again come to the section of the freeloaders with a lady. They start to take measurements of some children, they select 2 kids and start to take them away. Their parents Tanya and Andrew try to resist, but the guards beat them down. A man throws his shoes at the guard and he is arrested by the guards. Why are the kids taken? We will learn that later in the movie. Next, we see the manager of the train. She is in charge, she looks after all the sections, and she is the disturbance handler. She comes there and she picks up the shoe that the man threw at the guards and shows it to people. She addressed the people and say everything has its place, the shoe is worn on the foot and cap on the head. That's why the rich will live in the front and the poor freeloaders in the tail. She is the supporter of the segregation. Then that man is punished, his arm is put out of the train, and in moments it gets frozen. He is peeled inside, and a guard hit his frozen arm with a hammer, shattering and dismembering his arm. The poor can't stand it anymore. Curtis had some info he received in one of his messages, that guards have no ammunition, as all ammunition was used up to repress a previous revolt. But he was not sure and didn't want to risk it, but after seeing this he decided to risk it and take an action. Before attacking the guards he takes a drug named Chronal with him. When the guards come to deliver food in the freeloader section, Curtis launch an attack. He goes up to a guard and put his gun to his head and challenges the guard to shoot. The guard pressed the trigger, but nothing happened as there was no bullet in the gun and the information was correct. Urged by his father figure, Gilliam, Curtis Everett, and his second in command, Edgar, lead the tail passengers in a revolt after they realize the guards' weapons have no ammunition. Bullets are believed to be extinct due to a previous revolt. They attack the guards and overpower them, they break the door and go to the next section, which is the prison section, where they free Namgung Mansu, a captive security specialist, who is a Chronal addict. Curtis gives him a little Chronal. He insists that his clairvoyant daughter, Yona, who is also captive there, is freed as well. His daughter has the ability to learn about things through extrasensory powers. Namgung agrees to help them, but he demands that he must be paid 2 cubes of Chronal drug for each door that he opens. He helps the freeloader mob progress forward, but they find themselves facing guards with melee weapons, overseen by Minister Mason. The train goes into a tunnel during the battle, causing total darkness. The guard force, who have night vision, begin picking off the blind rebels. However, the freeloaders launch a counterattack with torches and push the guards back. Edgar is held hostage, but Curtis abandons him to capture Mason, forcing her to order the remaining guards to surrender, while Edgar is fatally stabbed. The Tail army stays back, holding the guards captive, while Curtis takes Mason, Namgung, Yona, skilled fighter Gray, and Tanya and Andrew, the two parents who have had their children taken from them, toward the front of the train. Curtis's group travels through several opulent cars. Namgung and Yona recognize a landmark outside and consider that the ice may be thawing. The group reaches a schoolroom where a teacher is indoctrinating the children on Wilford's greatness. A bald man brings eggs for the children to open to celebrate the 18th circumnavigation of the Earth. The bald man goes to the Tail army and shoots them with loaded automatic guns hidden under the eggs, revealing that bullets still exist. The captured guards are freed, as is Mason's henchman Franco. The teacher, who received a gun from the bald man, kills Andrew before Gray kills her. Franco broadcasts to the classroom his execution of Gilliam. This prompts Curtis to kill Mason. Curtis's group moves on, but Franco catches up with them, killing Gray and Tanya. Franco is seemingly killed by Curtis and Namgung. The two, along with Yona, continue onward. In the last car before the engine, Namgung reveals that the reason he collected the drug chronal was to use it as an explosive to escape the train with Yona, believing they can survive. Curtis stops them, as he wants to meet Wilford. Curtis explains that in the early days of the train, 17 years before, the tail section had resorted to cannibalism, and he had been ready to eat the infant Edgar, but Gilliam offered him his arm instead. Curtis wants to face Wilford to ask why he created this closed ecosystem. The engine door opens, and Wilford's assistant Claude emerges and wounds Namgung before inviting Curtis inside. Curtis meets Wilford and, to his shock, learns that he and Gilliam conspired to stage Curtis's rebellion to reduce the tail section's population to sustainable levels. Wilford orders 74% of the tail passengers killed. He then offers Curtis his position leading the train. Curtis appears ready to accept when Yona overpowers Claude, rushes in, and pulls open a floorboard to reveal Andrew and Tanya's children, Andy and Timmy, working the engine as slaves. Appalled, Curtis knocks out Wilford and rescues Timmy from the machinery, though he loses his arm in the process. Curtis gives Yona matches to light the fuse for the chronal, while Namgung fights and kills Franco, who had followed them, along with partygoers from another car. As the door to the engine room will not close, Curtis and Namgung use their bodies to protect Yona and Timmy from the blast. The explosion triggers an avalanche that derails and wrecks the train. With Namgung unresponsive, Yona escapes the wreckage with Timmy. They see a polar bear in the distance, indicating that life exists outside the train. The bear notices them. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. To watch more explanations of these kinds of movies, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's videos in the comment down below. Kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. And at last, I will say, stay safe, stay well. Thanks for watching.